Alright, hey guys, William Saunders here, the co-founder of Print My ATM, and I'm just here to give you guys our week 3 report. Okay, so my apologies for it being late. Usually I try to get it out right around Tuesdays, but today's Wednesday. So our week 4 analysis is going to be a little bit later on. So for week 3, guys, following the rules, we had 1,100 pips, okay? And just using like the max ranges and everything in that nature, 5,695 pips, okay? So as we can see, Euro USD here, basically the market reached this level, it's going up. You took your first buy order right around here, your stop got hit, second buy order right around here, stop got hit once again, third buy order right here, okay, and we can see that it shoots up pretty easy, 58 pips, 71 pips, all the way up here to 80 pips. So, you know, we minus the 20 pip stops there, we got a 60 pip gain. Now, if we include the max ranges once again, we would take the buy from here, which was pretty good for about 28 pips, then reverse on our stop right around here to the minimum profit of the next key level, okay, which would be this one, which is good for 63 pips, and then we can take the buy off of the last key as we always stated. So from here to this price about 40 pips. So then come down, we try to buy once again from that key level, which is good for about 20 pips there. We go back in, try to buy, it's going to hit our stop, we reverse it. Okay, and then we can take it all the way down into the first bar right here, so 72 pips. I wouldn't hold it until this bar, so 72 pips. Now, that ends the range in regards to the max, okay? All of this data here, we would actually need to use market trackers and market checkpoint. So we're not even including this data here, and that's just 277, okay? USD JPY, it begins, so your stop got hit 3 times, you're stopped out, you cannot get back in the market, okay? So you went to, it actually broke here, pretty good level right here. It dropped down 150 ticks, which we didn't include in the equation of this max right there, by the way. That would require a tracker. Same thing, a tracker would be here, a tracker would be right there. Just following the rules, you guys took a sell right there, got stopped out once. Whether you got in here, you got stopped out there, and you probably got in somewhere right around here a third time, and then you got stopped out. So that's pretty much it. Now, if we're going to reverse the trade, then we would reverse off this last position, and we could take it all the way up to minimum key level here. So I would have paid attention to what it's done. It went up 68 pips pretty good. Then it came down and bounced all the way up to here, so 128 pips. Now, until this whole range, I would have tried to place a sell trade right there, or I would have got back in with my stop position, as we can see, which is right here at this point. So got in, took my stop from right there again, all the way up to that position, so 105 pips. And past this information, as in coming back down, we didn't calculate that. So max is 201 for USD JPY. USD Swiss francs here, once again, it was just a little bit crazy going on with the rules. So you take your first entry, as we can see, it broke there to the downside, stop got hit, second entry, stop got hit. Took the third entry right around here, and it was good for 55 pips, okay? Minus the 20 there, so you're roughly right around 36 pip gain. And we're going to do the whole trapping game back and forth, which is going to balance out everything. Once it does break free of that range, we can see minimum take profit is 41 here, and we can include this range about 64. Once it breaks up to here 115, I would have stopped it right here 160, okay? So we're not calculating any of this data right here. So max is 239 pips. USD CAD, 83 pips following the rules. All right, so it broke out officially right here. You took your buy trade right there and straight up good for 53 pips. You went in for a buy right there, immediately got stopped out with your stop there using a 10 pip stop. Okay, so the buy would have came back up through this candle, and it would have been good for 38 pips. And let's take a look. So that's 3 entries, and that's like pretty much it that you guys would like to get back in a market. The 392 for max ranges is once again continuing to take the trades back up if it hit your 10 pip stop to reverse that range. So that's what we get. Next key area of profit is the 30 pips minimum right here, and as we can see, that is the buy. Would have went in, tried to buy, hit the stops, reverse it. It broke that level and hit our next key profit right there. And then once again, it touched that. So we're looking to take sell trades. This was a perfect sell trade going down. So 50 came back up through here. Once again, it would have hit the stop, had to reverse it. Closest take profit would have been here. That's where the range is actually stopped off at. So did the whole trapping sequence back and forth. Now, once it breaks through this trapping, take the reentry back down to the downside here, and it comes down to 189 pips. More than likely, this is not included in regards to the max right there, so we don't have this data coming through with the trapping. So it's just everything from basically reversing here down to here, reversing here down to here, taking its position from here down to there. All of this data has not been included into the max ranges, which we can clearly see it's been ranging from the keys back and forth right there. A tracker would have caught that pullback pretty good. That's also near a tracker area as well, so would have caught that price. Euro JPY, 156 pips following the rules, a lot easy. So it broke out this way. It came perfectly with the key down to that wick, shoots down pretty quick, 114 pips, all the way down 157 pips, comes back up, hit the key once again, perfect, just perfect, shoots down good for 63 pips, come up through here and stop gets hit. Okay, so 3 entries, you guys are good with the rules, 156 pips. In regards to this, we did the trapping, stop would have got hit more than likely 2 times back and forth as soon as it breached this level on down to here, pretty easy, 130 pips. All right, now we are not going to include this data here of all of that trapping with the ranges and everything in that nature, so don't worry about it too much. Even with that being said, 358 pips is pretty solid compared to us going using trackers, spots, and the checkpoints. Audi USD, minus 30 pips, okay? So you guys got stopped out 3 times. So broke out to here, you actually went to buy, got stopped out, took your second entry right there, got stopped out, broke down below, you went to take your sell right here. It was only good for about 15, 16 pips before it came back and you got stopped out. So following the rules, you guys are down, okay, 30 pips, stopped out 3 times. Now, with our max ranges, there is a ton of coding in here, and I prefer not to expose it, to be honest. Low end, I can even say we've gained roughly right around 450 pips to the max ranges, but we're not going to include that. I can even say we've lost 300 pips on the max ranges, and that still wouldn't affect our performance. So it doesn't make a difference whether it's a win for the pippage or a loss for the pippage. We're pretty much still up for the week. The only difference is me exposing the ranges in regards to showing you guys how we've gotten the type of pips that we've gotten. I do not want to do that. Audi JPY. So following the rules, 380 pips, okay? And max range is 630 pips that we can actually use with these. So broke out to here, pulled up nicely, okay, with this candle right here. Hits this key and then slams down 275 pips and then comes up, take your re-entry again, you get stopped out, take the third entry right there, and then it shoots down a good 108 pips. Okay, now we get to this point here where it hits the stop. As soon as it hits the stop, our reverse point more than likely somewhere right around here, breaks through here, bounces off this key, and we can take minimum profit to this point, which is 65 pips. Whether you decided to get out at the minimum key there, that's perfectly fine, or whether you just held it because you've seen that it was still trending up and it's possible for it to touch this level. Either way, max would have been 120 until you guys came back through here and tried to take the sell trade. All right, and then your stop would have got hit, you would have reversed it, did the whole thing once again, and you got out here 80 pips. All right. Our stop entry is right here, okay, which is that point. So you could have took the buy just based off your stop entry, which is 90 pips, about 90 pips. That's more of a advanced way of doing things. This comes down, does not break the bottom, and that's your buy signal, okay, because it just broke through here. So you take the buy off this key level and it shoots up pretty good, 116 pips, pretty easy, and 161 pips, okay. So following the rules, guys, 380 pips for you, and max range is 630 pips. Euro Audi, -3 pips. You got stopped out 3 times. I mean, literally immediately. So we got this whole thing here, broke out through here. One entry, stopped out. Second entry, stopped out. Third entry, stopped out. Okay. Now the good part about your max ranges is that you can reverse and get really good pips there. So off the reversal, 87 pips. Include your stop, that's 77 pip gain off this one. Pretty easy, 131 pips. Include your stop, that's 120 pip gain. And then it comes down even further down to here, 189. I would have looked to buy from here, okay, and that's good for 140 pips. I would have attempted to buy once again from here, and it's going to come back, hit my stop. I reverse the trade once again on my stop, which is somewhere right around this price. Then it shoots straight down, and that's 134 pips, pretty easy. Now off the first breakout, and I noticed that it actually pulled back, I'm not going to continue to hold this trade. So this max format here of 385, that's where it stops off at. It does not include all of this data here, which we could have used some trackers and some checkpoints to also earn pips off that data. It's just stopping off at that candle right there, okay? GBP Swiss francs, you're out 30 pips. This was really good actually, but it did kick you out. So it broke through here, comes back up, and I mean that just went out about 10 ticks, or we can even say 9 ticks. 10.5 is right here. That's a close call, okay? So, and even with that being a close call, I can say, yeah, it's a close call. We were still in, so technically we got the pips right here, okay? 86 pips minus the other 2, which would have been still up 60. I still gave that to the worst case scenario. So we got stopped out all 3 times there. All right, following the rules. Now, when we get into the max ranges, once again, we're reversing on these ends and taking it back up. Minimum take profit is this key, 82 pips. It did reach up to here, 144 pips. So that's going to the upside. Even if we would have went to take a buy trade right here, stop got hit out, and we got a 41 pip gain. Came back through here, tried to buy, stop got hit out once again, and it pulled down right around here, so 35 pip gain coming through there, and then we get back in for the upside. So these held pretty good, and then it just shoots up 107 pips, 139 pips. Now that is pretty much the end. We're not including any more of this data here, even on the keys bouncing back and forth, and even on through here. That's just pretty much like the main data that we just summed up at 336. Now rest assured, we could have added all of this data here, coming back from this, reversing back to that point. Minimum take profit is 90, coming up to here 148, coming up to here 170. We just want to really just hit like the bar bare minimum, okay? GBP JPY, let's see, so broke out to here. This did not touch the key. Did hit a tracker, by the way, and let's see, so took a sell trade here, got stopped out, sell either here or here once again, so stopped out 3 times. Now upon that stop out, we would have come out from the stop out point, which is right at this level, and then we'll go up for 108 ticks, okay? And that is still the stop out range right there, so it's good for about 90 ticks coming all the way through. Whether we held it up to here 138, I pretty much doubt it, because it did pull down from there. So I would just only include probably right around here 90 coming through. And then the same thing, it drops down through here. I'm looking to take that sell trade and get out of that sell. So 207 pips, pretty easy. And then it shoots down again for 291, so that's pretty clean. The rest of this data right here is not included because of the time frame, so we won't calculate that. All right. GBP CAD, same thing going on. So get in here, stop gets hit, get in here, stop, stop. Following the rules, you're down 30 pips with that, okay? Now, max ranges could have reversed the stop all the way down to here. Pretty good, 135 pips. Rest assured, you got stopped out twice, so 120 pips up. Take the buy from this point, okay, all the way up to here, which is pretty good. Minimum profit would have been here, 116 pips. Did pretty good all the way up to here, 148 pips, okay, for the buy. And then you try to buy once again from this key, stop got hit out. You come all the way back down to here, stop there, 146 pips, okay, minus the 10 pip loss extra from there. And that's the buy level, so then we take the buy once again all the way up to minimal key profit, which is 117. Still did pretty good, 162. And then we got the buy coming in from here once again, but it doesn't hold. You get the 10 pip stop, you reverse it all the way down, and depending on whether you attempted to rebuy here again or if this candle was actually pretty quick and slammed down to a 249 profit, okay? So now we know the market is going down. Pulls back up, we're probably gonna do the trap ranges because you want to sell from this key level. Okay, so it got stopped out. Probably trap range of roughly right around 3 times before you take the third re-entry coming back here. And then it shoots down pretty easy, 111 pips, 165 pips, 203, comes down 207. Okay, so that is pretty much it. And the reason why that ends the calculation of max ranges is due to this pullback here. We would actually need to use a market tracker in order to keep up with this, but still it shoots down pretty good all the way down to an additional 458 pips. So let's take a look. GBP USD, following the rules, 128 pips, guys. So market broke this level right here. As soon as it broke that level, pulled up perfectly to the key, shoots on down 86 pips, and then we got the second entry, pulls up. This actually holds with a 10 pip stop, then comes down 47 pips. Okay, then we took a third entry right around here where it got stopped out. Okay, so rules 128 pips, just following it. Would have played around with the stops back and forth, but once it did break through our stop zone right around here, minimum take profit is 38 pips. That shot up pretty good still for 90 pips, so we can probably take the sell from this key level because that's our next area. And then we go in pretty good, so it's down 83 pips coming from there. The market actually pulls back up. We can try to take the sell coming from this point, and it hits our stop level. Then we ride it all the way back up from that stop entry all the way to the minimum key profit, which is 36. Could have held it a little bit longer all the way up to 49, and then that's where we want to reverse and go back for the sell. Okay, so it comes down, hits that pretty quick, and then it starts to do this slam down once again, comes down to 103, comes down to 111, and then we get this, pulls back up, hits our first key, reverse to stop, almost hits our minimum profit of the next key level. But once it turns back around, it slams down pretty hard. Yeah, so about 193 pips. So following rules, 128 pips, and max 576. Alright, so oil, guys, according to the rules, if you were following them, 252 pips, pretty easy. So it broke out at this candle, comes back up, hit your stop, take your second re-entry right here, and it shoots down pretty easy, 107 pips. Take your third re-entry right here on this candle, and then it just pulls all the way down to 120 pips. So I'll just minus that 10 pip stop that you got hit, and you guys already had 3 entries, so that's pretty much it. Now coming through this way, once again, we'd have been playing the trap zone, tug and war, back and forth, but once it did reach that range, we can see our stop would have been right around here. Reversing would have took the minimum key profit, which is right there, 32 pips. And would have did the same thing right around here, try to go for a sell, got back in from there, and then it would have broke out from our stop level all the way up to 70 pips, broke straight through here, 195 pips coming through there, okay? Now, once again, we're using a market tracker to identify this level, but if you guys did not have that level and you did hold the position from your stop breakout at highest, you should have been right around here, 350 pips, okay? So we don't have in calculations the data that's coming back through here and the data that's ranging through there, and that's pretty much for the 612 is basically stopping right at this peak of the candle right there all the way back through here, okay, which we could have taken some trades using some trackers and checkpoints, especially in these ranges where it's overextended, but we won't calculate that just yet. Okay, so gold 182 pips, pretty patient, broke that level here, came through, it actually take your buy entry here and your stop got hit, okay. So then we actually went in for your buy entry right here and it was good for 50 pips. And then you would probably got stopped out if you didn't get out at the 50 pip range. And then we went in for a buy entry right here and all the way good for 196 pips. So minus that of those pippets right there. So it's either one stop or depending on two stops when you guys actually did get out. Either way, you got your third entry coming from there. Okay, so roughly around 182 pips. Just taking a look, you know, this is 1 day, 2 days, about 2.5 days for it to actually get back down to the key zone. And we had a perfect key hit right there, all the way back up pretty quick, 152 pips, 164 pips. All right. So basically, if you guys are sticking with the rules, you should be up roughly around this week 1,100 pips. All right. If you guys are using max ranges and just kind of slaving at the markets and just really be sitting out, 5,695 pips, and that is still not including the market trackers and market checkpoints, which pretty much complete the process of weekly keys. Okay, so we just have one more week, guys, with our just 4-week analysis that we've been doing here. After that week, we're going to go ahead and add up all the pips for the last 4 weeks with you guys so that you can actually see how many pips you guys would have had for following the rules in the last 4 weeks, and of course the max ranges when using the reverse stops and everything of that nature. All right, so until then, guys, I wish you much success and of course, happy trading. Hey traders, William here, and I got 3 important questions for you. Number 1, do you have a profitable trading coach or mentor? Number 2, are you getting 50 to 500 pips per day? And number 3, are you satisfied with your trading results? If you can answer 2 out of 3 of the questions with a yes, then congratulations, my friend. But if not, then we're about to change the game for you. And it doesn't matter if you guys are trading binary options, forex, or futures, because we can do it all and we have it all. Top of the line trading signals, monthly group shares, and complete market domination. Check out our free video course series and our daily trade analysis to see for yourselves.